This is Scott Welchel, Homeland Security Director for St. Charles Parish. From our EOC here in Hahnville, wanted to provide our residents an update on where we are. It is currently 9:45 on Wednesday morning. I want to convey to you in the most serious manner possible that we have not yet seen the worst potentially from Isaac. We have a large storm surge threat potential for the west bank of St. Charles Parish, and we've already seen widespread damage throughout the parish in the east bank and the west bank areas with down power lines, down trees. We still anticipate a lot of rainfall, which we all know presents for a lot of problems in our parish. All the pump stations are operational, but it is a matter of time before we start to see the onset of even more winds and the conditions for a storm surge threat on our west bank. Right here in St. Charles Parish, as you can see, the center of the storm is just southwest of us, and it's moving very slowly to the west. What this is doing is it's creating the conditions for even more storm surge threat than we may have had before when the storm was tracking over us. Before, when the storm was tracking to be over us, we had a north wind which was pushing water out of our west bank tributaries. Now what we have is the storm moving west, and as you've already heard reported on the news in other areas east of us, that those winds will shift to the south and potentially push all of that water that's already coming but not quite here yet from the storm surge in the Barataria Basin area into our area. So I just want to underscore the threat for people who did choose to stay. I'm not advising you to move yourself or your families only because with hurricane force winds still out there, it is unsafe for you to be on the streets. But I do not want you to get surprised when you see rising water in our parish potentially in the near future. Officials in St. Charles Parish need to advise you to continue to stay where you are. Just because we have daylight hours, you should not be venturing outside. For the time being, the timing that we have, as you can see from this model provided to us from the Hurricane Center, the next storm position movement of any consequence at 1 p.m. today, the storm would only be several miles west of us, not really giving us the distance we need to become less vulnerable to these hazards. Ultimately, the position here, just northeast of Lafayette, is at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. So that's an entire day today of these conditions continuing, so you do not need to be outside putting yourself in danger or at risk. If you have emergencies, continue to dial 911 and let us know about your emergencies. Our emergency personnel are in a shelter-in-place position and have to also ride out the effects of these winds.